Recording in progress.
Amy, are you speaking right now? Because I can't hear anything. I can't hear you. Oh, no. Can't hear.
Director Davidoff, it's Connie. I don't know if you saw in the chat, they're having a sound issue. Okay.
It's just adoption.
Some berries.
So we should hear it. Oh, Director Fike, can you hear us now? All right. Let's hear you. Director Davidoff, can you unmute, please?
Speaking. Thank you.
Thank you. I can hear you perfectly.
Director Weatherhead, how are you doing today? Let's hear you.
I'm probably sounding a little better.
Well, good to have everybody. Okay. I think we're good to go now. All right. Let's begin. We don't need Stuart. We're good. All right, everybody. PCQ Kit, welcome. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional lands. If I did that, I messed myself up. And respect the Indigenous people within whose traditional lands we are meeting today. I said it quick because you're not supposed to pause in saying welcome in Tanaka. So that was my attempt. And also, Monday is Indigenous Peoples Day. So just for our information and also for you to learn and participate where you can. I will call for a motion to adopt the agenda 2.2. Thank you, Director Main. Thank you, Director Jackman. Any additions or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Anybody opposed? Thank you. And I did also want to acknowledge we have two councillors in the room with us today from the City of Nelson. We have Councillor Woodward. Hi, thank you. And then from the Village of Nakus, Councillor, can you say your last name for us? Kanoisan. Welcome. So good to have you guys participate. Thanks. All right. And adoption of the minutes, please. Thank you, Director Hewitt. Do we have a second? Thank you, Director Graham. Any edits or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. CAO, would you like to do some introductions?
Sure. Through the chair, we had Donna Carmichael leave us in our billing department. Melissa's moved into that position. Melissa Jakovich, you might know her. She was grants coordinator for a little bit, filled in during some gaps we had in that position, been at the front desk for some time and is now moved into that position. And our asset management coordinator, I don't think he's online, but we did have plans to introduce you, at least virtually, to him. But Amar here, Sidhu, is joining us as our asset management coordinator. Extremely experienced. We're really excited to have him on board. And he's been with us since last Monday, getting the lay of the land and starting to work on that. So hopefully you'll see something on that project in short order.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move right into item number 3, committees and commissions with recommendations. We have the Water Services Committee, and why am I blanking? Who chairs that? Director Newell.
Yeah.
Would you like to move your motions? Are you ready to, or would you like me to?
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
Okay.
You're just jumping ahead to the next one I have to do. Then the next one. Okay. These have to be done individually. They can't be a block.
They should be done individually.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. I'll move the first recommendation, the board approve an amendment to the financial plan 2025 for S243 area for water utility area B to reduce the user fees by 37,000 from that amount to 287,737, and thus reduce the contribution to reserves by that amount to 32,280.
Thank you. Director Tierney, do you want to second that motion? Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next one, go ahead.
Yes, that RDCK Utilities Rates, Fees and Charges Amendment Bylaw number 34/2025, amending the bylaw, be read a first, second, and third time.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Jackman. Discussion on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And the next for adoption.
And said amendment bylaw be adopted.
We have a second. Thank you, Jackman. Participants only waited. I will try and remember to tell you the proper vote. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Thank you. Cascar and District Rec Commission, Director Hanegraaff, I believe you chaired that committee. Go ahead.
I move that board award the CDRD roof replacement project to Heritage Roofing and Sheet Metal Limited, and that the chair and corporate officer be authorized to sign the necessary documents to a maximum of $1,359,000 plus GST, and further that the cost for the project be paid from service S227 Castle District Community Aquatic Service.
Do we have a second?
Maria.
McFadden? Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Okay, I move that the board award the door replacement project to K Ford Construction and that the chair and corporate officer be authorized to sign necessary documents to a maximum value of $88,792 plus GST, and further that the cost for the project be paid from service S222, Castle Garden District Community Facilities, Recreation, Parks, and Leisure Service.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, McFadden. Discussion? Jackman?
Would this also be noted as a weighted vote and contract?
Yes, it does say all vote, but it should be weighted. Thank you. Yes, no?
Go ahead.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And number 3?
I move that the board approve the RDCK entering into a lease negotiation with Robson Recreation Society for the properties. We're not sure how many addresses are involved, owned by the Robson Rec Society for regional/community park purposes for a maximum period of 5 years, and that the chair and corporate officer be authorized to sign the necessary documents, and further that the cost be paid from S222 Castle Garden District Regional Facilities, Recreation, Parks, and Leisure Services.
Thank you. Thank you, McFadden. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And
Finally, that the board authorize staff to prepare a service establishment bylaw and a borrowing bylaw for an expansion of the Castle Garden District Community Complex service within the city of Castlegar and Area J, and further that elector assent be sought by assent voting.
thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, McFadden. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. 3.1.3 Nelson Salmo EF&G Park Commission. Is that Director Page?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That the board approved the regional district of Central Kootenai entered the agreement for the statutory right-of-way as described for the purposes of legal access for prospective ski trails, and the chair and corporate officer will be authorized to sign the necessary documents.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Graham. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. West Transit Services Committee, Director McFadden.
That the electoral areas A and F and Spokane Valley Transit Local Service Establishment Amendment Bylaw number 3035/2025 be read a first and second time.
Thank you. It's E and F, but that's okay. Seconded A.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. A and F, that would be fun. It's on the floor. Director Davidoff, go ahead.
Chair, not on this motion, on the next one. Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion on this one? I don't see anyone else. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And the next one, go ahead.
That the Kootenai Lake West Transit Service Establishment Amendment Bylaw number 3036/2025 be read a first and second time.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Jackman. Go ahead, Davidoff.
Yeah, thank you. I am strongly opposed to this because what we are setting the table for is a reallocation, reapportionment of taxation based on a formula that really hammers an area like Area I. We have 30, by staff stats, we have an average of 34 riders a year that use our transit service. Within Area J, it is 800 something. Within the city, it's over 3,000 riders. And yet, we will be paying, ultimately, if all this goes through, our ratepayers in Area I will be paying a hugely disproportionate part of for this service. And right now, it may not be a huge financial hit, but in the future, if we start spending more and more money, this is a formula for the future, not just for 1 day or for one.
Thanks, Director Davidoff. You did express that at the committee, and we had extensive conversations at committee. So you're opposed. We
Chair,
recognize that.
If I could finish.
Please do, but you're repeating yourself. Please go ahead.
at the committee, that was not at the board table where the decision is going to be made, and I want it on the record as to why I'm opposed.
We
And
report opposed, not the details.
I am allowed to speak in opposition to the motion, Chair, I believe.
Yes, you have. You've spoken to it, and I'm just asking you to complete your conversation. Please complete.
Thank you. So I am adamantly opposed to this motion because of what it's going to do to our ratepayers, and I believe I need to stand up for our ratepayers in Area I. So I would like to be recorded opposed to this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? We have David off recorded. Thank you. 3.2.5, Slocan Valley Services Committee. I'm not sure who chairs that one.
That'll be me.
Go ahead, Director Papa.
Thank you. A recommendation to the board that the board directs staff to enter into a service agreement with Community Futures Central Kootenai to provide economic development services, including the administration of RDCK grant funds for the period April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2027 at an annual cost not to exceed $11,530. And that the participants of the service agreement include Area H, Village of Slocan, and Village of Silverton. And further, that it be recommended to the board that the economic development funds for the Village of New Denver in the amount of $970 be paid to the village from the S114 Economic Development Area H Slocan, Silverton, New Denver 2025 financial plan.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Director. Main discussion? Main, go ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not present at that meeting, but I do want to express, I'll call it sadness that New Denver has chosen not to participate in the economic development, the regional economic development undertakings. And we will miss their input as well as their finance. That's all.
Thank you. Further discussion? This is all vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And your next motion, Director Papa.
That the board directs staff to prepare a service case analysis and report it back to the board on the implications of establishing a North Slocan Library Service bylaw for library service in a defined portion of Area H, Silverton, and New Denver.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Director. Main discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 3.1.6, and directors, I do appreciate that we're reading our motions verbatim. We can summarize a little bit, just because then we don't start falling asleep. If that's helpful. When we read it. No. I didn't hurt you. I'm just trying to keep us awake. When we read things, it can do that. Do as you please. All vote. Or sorry, Newell, I believe you chaired this.
Yeah, I'll move the first recommendation.
Okay.
And it has three components discussed at length with some superb staff information. It was an amazing meeting, and the first recommendation is there, three parts to it. I'll move it and I believe someone seconded it.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Maine. Discussion? It was a great conversation. All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I'll move the second recommendation regarding the selling of quality compost, and there was some discussion about the costing, and at the end of the day, we agreed with the prices that are included in the motion.
Thank
Move it.
All vote weighted, seconded, Hanegraaff. Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
The third recommendation has to do with the Crescent Compost Facility and the distribution of some of their Class A compost. We should bold that. So I'll move the third recommendation. It's an all vote.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Discussion? Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
The fourth recommendation authorizes staff to submit the reapplication request as written for the Climate Resiliency Program grant. It was explained by staff the reason for this, and it went into great detail. And it describes the allocation of the grant funding if successful.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Jackman. Discussion? Being none, all those in favor? Opposed?
And the fifth recommendation Amy explained is kind of one to just get a process going. It's not nothing finalized, but this allows us to get in the queue for the next step that may occur. And it has the CAO, which is required to be authorized to sign the necessary documents.
Thank you. Power is yours. Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Director May. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right. Nelson and District Rec Commission, Director Page, was that you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this, I'll move the first motion. This was discussed at length over the course of the last year. That starts with the commission, the board, they recommend to the board that we will not donate the RDCK lands to the city of Nelson on 824 Front Street, specifically for Nelson Care Society's proposed housing project in its current form.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All vote. Thank you. Discussion?
Could I just
Yes.
briefly say that we had a extremely good discussion at Rec 5 earlier this week, and we came to this decision not lightly, but certainly there are a number of factors that led the commissioners to feel that it was perhaps too large a commitment for too long a time for Rec 5 to take on at this point financially. There are other components to it. I won't go into great detail, but I'd just like the board to know that we didn't lightly abandon the idea of supporting affordable housing as part of what the RD board strategies are. But at the end of the day, when we weighed everything, it just seemed like too large a financial commitment for too long, amongst other things, to support the project, lease space within the projected project, and donate land adjacent to it that would have allowed the scope of the project to be slightly different. So anyway, that's in support of that.
So Graham and then Page.
Thank you, and just to echo everything Director Newell said, and also that we would have possibly considered it with a referendum, but not without a referendum.
Okay, thanks. Page.
Yeah, I'll just summarize that two words in here. Commission, one is put specifically and one is put in its current form, and it was really speaking to, we know timeline and very important this project. We also know planning and engagement with the public is important, and in the end, by the time we got to this junction, those questions around this proposal in its current form, we're not at a clear spot that we could say, yes, we would go ahead with this. And so that the commission wanted to capture that, but they would entertain future projects on that site. But at this point, this project wasn't where it could be that we can say yes.
Thank you for that, Commissioners. It's helpful because it's a small participating areas, and it's good for the board to understand that context. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. That was your only motion to come to board for that one. Thanks, Director Page. 3.2 memberships. Would someone like to move that motion? Jackman?
So moved for the various commissions as stated, that the appointed individuals to the following commissions.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Tierney. Discussion?
Question?
Yes, David.
As a Lister Community Water Advisory Committee, one of those names passed away tragically in a car accident last week.
Oh.
And so I'm not sure what the procedure is to either remove the name or replace the person, but I just wanted to point that out.
Is it the Lister one?
The Lister one from
We should probably remove their name.
that's it done real.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was very unexpected, very shocking at the beginning.
Okay. Isn't he one of our fire chiefs? Okay. I'm so sorry. Apologies to the community and to their family. Christine, can we just amend that we've removed his name? Thank you. Who is Lister? That is Roger. Okay, thank you. Dr. Tierney will just take his name off for now.
Please, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Off for now.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you to Dr. DeBoon. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Oh, sorry. We have one letter for correspondence from what's NC? North Regional District share regarding Pacific Northern gas with increased gas. We received these for information. North Coast, okay, thank you. Any discussion? I think we're good. It's good for us to read these, especially leading up to UBCM. That tends to be where we'll end up engaging a little more. Okay, bylaws. These first two, 5.1 and 5.2, are for adoption. If you have a question, please do so. Go ahead, Director Graham.
I have a conflict of interest.
Oh, yes, please.
So, Chair, I, Director Graham, wish to declare at this time that I'm not entitled to participate in discussion or vote on an executive business on the meeting agenda, which is item 5.1, by reason that I had a financial compensation from the sale of this land, and that I wish to leave the meeting at this time and request that the minutes recorded in the meeting and the meeting for the reasons stated.
Thank you, Director Graham. Okay. Director Noel, are you ready to move your motion?
You have to do them individually or?
Yes. Yeah.
Move the first recommendation, which is an amendment to the bylaw of 2/14/2011, and that's for adoption. And then the chair, etc.
Seconded Page. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And your zoning bylaw, go ahead.
And the zoning bylaw 1625 is would be amended through the adoption of this.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Paige. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Director Page or Cunningham, can you let Director Graham know, or anybody, that she can come back? Thank you, Director Page. Just wait one moment for her to return. All right, back to you, Director Newell, or is there any questions before adoption? Looks good. Go ahead, Director Newell.
Yeah, I'll move the recommendation resolution, which is an amendment to 3028, which amendment bylaw 3028, which is amending 1675.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Director Graham. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Bylaw 3030, portions of areas B and C fire protection. This is for second, third by content. Who would like to move that motion? Director Tierney?
Yes, I'd like to move that the portion of the electoral area A and C fire protection local service area establishment amendment bylaw number 3030 2025 be read a first and second and third time by content.
Thank you. We're trying to do a bunch of stuff in area
I'll second it, knowing that it's B and C.
Yeah.
What's going on here today?
Amendment
and everything, yeah.
Discussion. Thank you. That'll come back next month for adoption.
Yeah, through the chair, requires consent from the directors, so you'll be receiving a letter to sign off on it. It'll come back for adoption.
Okay, great. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And Nakusma District Complex Improvement Security Issuing.
Yes, that's me.
That is you.
I will move that the Nakusma District Complex Improvement Security Issuing Bylaw number 3038 be read a first, second, and third time by content.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Maine and Weatherhead. Sorry, I was looking for you. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Go ahead with your next one.
And I'll move that the same bylaw be adopted.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Weatherhead. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, 6.1.1 draft license to occupy with School District 8 Crawford Bay. Jackman.
Sure, I'll wait to move the board approve the RDCK enter into a license to occupy agreement negotiation with School District 8 for designated space as described in Crawford Bay.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, DeBoom. Discussion? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do have to note that this is a means of supporting local interests in the community facilities of this school. School district has changed a lot of administrative staff. We've had administrative changes, and there's a very real fear that kind of the community interest in that school, the fundraising, and the fact that part of the school was built and added on to because of the community support, could be lost down the road. So this is a more formal way of entrenching that interest. There's more work to do, is all I'm going to say. Joe has suggested that maybe we will try and enter into an MOU, which used to be the way we do things. But appreciate the board's support on this component, at least to nail down the operating cost for shared use of some of that space.
Good stuff. Further discussion? Seeing anyone? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Regional Service Agreement with the Village of Nakusp. Director Weatherhead, go ahead.
I'll vote that staff be directed to prepare a report for board consideration that presents options to reconfigure service S223 Nakusp and Area K Arena, change it to an Area K only financial service grant service model.
Thank you. Do we have a second? We do. Discussion?
Simply that it's a pretty old bylaw that we've been operating under, and I felt that that without any real governance for Area K in a facility that is owned fully by the village, that this would separate this adequately from. I have no way to communicate with my constituents on budget and that sort of thing. So this hopefully makes some changes here. We'll see how that works.
Thank you, Director Weatherhead. And you do sound way better today. I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All good. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Something pop up on chat? Nope. Okay. Community Services Sponsorship Policy. I believe this was just, we discussed this quite extensively at All Recreation. Director McFadden, are you the chair for that? Yeah, go ahead.
The board adopts policy number 500-01-12, community services sponsorship policy effective immediately.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Jackman, discussion? Jackman?
Yeah, thanks. And I guess this policy is sufficient for what it states. It's fairly complete, but it does refer to future amendments potentially under other details. Advertising, there's words to the effect that there may need to be addenda or other standalone agreements. And so I just thought this is the time to ask because I didn't really cover it up previously, maybe through the chair, Joe. The advertising that we see the most revenue generated from and putting it to good use is minor hockey associations. And so are we already aligned with the end of this policy with the agreements we have in place for advertising revenues through, say, minor hockey, which is probably the biggest revenue generator at all of our arenas? Or are we going to need to see some form of addenda in the near future? And would there need to be direction to staff to start working on that? Because these agreements, they all come up for renewal at various times.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, through the chair. Most of our agreements, if it comes to advertising in the facilities, and that is actually with the junior hockey societies, and those are covered through formal agreements. So the intent of this policy was not so much about those types of agreements. It was more about what we may give out promotionally, those types of things. So at All Rec, we are hoping that the junior clubs will actually be coming to All Rec next week to talk about some of their suggested changes to their agreements with regional district, and that will make up a part of the conversation.
Yes, go ahead.
because on under other details, 10.0 advertising, it does kind of more speak to space for the purpose of allowing another business to advertise their organization services. That's very much what happens with the junior hockey. In fact, you could argue in some sense the junior hockey is business, depending on the structure. So it just seems to me there's a very specific paragraph in here that says that work needs to be done, speaks to standalone agreement or addendum or subsequent policy. So is Joe saying they're already aligned with all the intent of this policy, that they don't need to be revisited? But how are you taking?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Sorry, Gary is fading out. I could not actually hear sorry, Director Jackman, what you just said.
Yeah.
Is it pertinent to the adoption of this policy at this moment? Are you concerned about a future amendment not catching it now?
No, we can do it offline.
Okay.
I think probably what just happened, because I did this when I was reading.
Oh,
I lifted my page in front of the owl.
okay.
I'll discuss it offline. It just
Okay.
seemed that's an opening to something that could become controversial. We'll deal with Crescent Auto Services. That might be the leading edge of the conversation.
Okay. You'll take it offline, Joe. Thank you. Good catch, though. Further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 6.2.1, we do have Stephanie on the line as well for this one. And Nelson, oh, sorry, that's how she wrote the report. Hi, Stephanie. Are we ready for the motion, or are there questions beforehand? Or we can move the motion, ask questions. Go ahead, Jackman.
Well, I do have a few questions, and it really comes around the inclusion of the word maximum.
Let me just check that she can hear you okay before we go too far. Stephanie, can you hear Director Jackman okay?
Thanks, Chair Watson. I can hear Director Jackman okay.
Okay, please proceed.
I will refrain from holding my notes up. Usually we just have a value of a contract, and this is maximum value. And it got me thinking a little bit, because there's also substantial grant funding here, but of course if there's overages, we get to pay. So if you issue a contract with a dollar amount, it's never a maximum. There's always the right to claim extras. So to me, the word doesn't mean anything unless there's something built into the fee structure, which I can't see. So you can have a contract that's written with a payment schedule, could be based on cost plus, upset limits for specific divided elements of the work. That, we'll pay $20,000 up to for this work, we'll pay up to $30,000 for this element, and we may pay you less for some of it. So I'm very interested in whether or not we can even pretend to have maximum value. And then also, and maybe it's a more awkward, larger discussion, that this is all the money we have. It's maximum.
Right.
And I see in the proposal, there's a number of hours of work being delivered, and I can't really get into the weeds on evaluation, but there's a number of hours of service delivery from each of the proposals, and this one has less hours. So it just raises questions. Are we tracking their hours? Who's doing the work? Or is this just essentially a fixed price with the pretense of it being maximum? Yeah, maybe that's a harsh question, but that's the way it is.
Stephanie or Nelson, do you have an answer or answers? Go ahead, Stephanie.
Thanks. Through the chair, just to speak to the number of hours, as the board knows, we followed the RDCK's purchasing policy, and all of the proposal review committee members independently evaluated each proposal. And I just wanted to remind the board that the proposal review committee was comprised of the CAO for the Village of Salmo, a partner on this project, the RDCK's General Manager of Development and Community Sustainability, our Planning Manager, and myself. And just to touch on Director Jackman's questions about the discrepancy in hours, BGC's proposal includes deep knowledge and extensive expertise, which comes with a higher charge-out rate, an hourly charge-out rate, but includes more efficiencies and less time needed to complete the work, given their experience. Urban Systems, the team did not have that same level of deep experience, and generally speaking, this most likely resulted in lower hourly rates and a work plan with more hours to undertake the work, just to explain that discrepancy there. Thank you.
Do you have a supplemental that?
Well, I don't see how this could possibly be issued with the maximum price. So
Yeah, that was the one I thought was outstanding.
They're low sensitive.
We can change it.
We can change it. What is it you would change it to? Just remove the max?
Well, just,
In the
sign
amount of.
documents to evaluate. There's no maximum.
Okay, do you want to move it with that change?
Sure, move, yes, with the removal of the word maximum. Sure.
Do you get that, Christine? Yeah. Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Maine. Other further questions? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 6.2.2, these are received for information. Nora, did you want to, thank you so much. We did have a few emails over this one, just understanding process, so I appreciate you getting back to me. Can you just highlight that you had mentioned there will be a session set up with directors to ask questions? Do you want to speak to that or anything else?
Yeah, through the chair, thank you. There will be a session set up in the next weeks for the rural directors for the areas where plans were updated and councils, because two of these plans were shared between a municipal entity and a rural electoral area. There'll be about a half-hour presentation from the consultant on the overall recommendations in the plans, and that will be followed by an opportunity to ask questions. We will record that for those that can't attend, so that'll be distributed as well. So with that, all RDCK plans are currently up to date, with the exception of Area H North and South, which received an extension through to the end of this year, and will be updated this year.
Okay, great. So I'd say any detailed discussions on the reports can be held in that meeting, or reach out to Nora. I do have Dr. Popoff on the speakers list. Go ahead, Dr. Popoff.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair, I think Nora answered that about Area H. That's what I was going to ask. Thank you.
Okay, great. These are just received for information, no motions. So stay tuned for Nora's email. Is that good, Nora?
Through the chair, yes, and we'll provide further update during the session with the consultant.
Okay, great, thank you. All right then, next we have 6.3.1 Erickson Metering Phase 2. Go ahead, Tierney.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'd like to move the recommendation and so voted. The board direct staff to reward contract for the Erickson Metering Phase 2 water meters and Meteor Core Incorporated, and that the chair and corporate officer be authorized to sign the necessary documents to maximum of $291,480.48 plus GST, and further that the funds be drawn from S250 Water Utility Area B and C. Erickson.
Thank you. Director Vandenberg, do you want to second that? Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 6.4.1, Casper District Victim Services. We move that motion. Go ahead, McFadden.
I actually now have to declare a conflict of interest.
Okay.
I, Director McFadden, wish to declare at this time that I am not entitled to participate in this discussion or vote on the next item of business on the meeting agenda. That is item 6.4.1 by reason of my husband is employed by Victim Services. So I will leave the meeting at this time and request that the minutes record by leaving the meeting for the reasons stated.
Thank you, McFadden. Go ahead, Hanegraaff, yes.
Okay, so I move that the accumulated operating surplus be decreased by 15,000, and that we increase the grants expense by 15,000 for areas I and J to the Casper District Community Services Society, for area I and J support to the Victim Services Program.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second the chair.
Thank you. Discussion? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Can you let McFadden know? Thank you, Graham. Noted. Thank you very much. All right, 6.4.2. Stuart, can you just quickly explain what we're doing here with the Kootenay Boundary Farm Advisors?
Sure. Through the chair, as part of the budget process, we simply missed the fact that as we are administering this contract, we are receiving the funds from East Kootenay, Kootenay Boundary, and CBT in order to pay the contractor for the KBFA. So we simply have to make a financial plan amendment. Staff's recommending the increase in revenue and then the increase in contracted services to account for the flow through of those funds. 45,000 per participant.
Per participant. East Kootenay's administered it for quite some time, so now we're doing it. Do it. Go ahead.
Move it.
Move it? Yeah. Move it? Yep, seconded. Okay, discussion. Well, good. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Statement of financial information. That's why Yev walked in the room. Hello, Yev. Welcome.
Thank you.
Do we want to move the motion and then entertain discussion?
Moved.
Thank you, Newell. Seconded McFadden. Discussion. Start with Graham. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I think I know the answer to this, but through the chair, I'm always struggling with why the taxation amounts are different in these financial plans than they are between this statement and the financial plan. Like even if you back to 2023, like they're different numbers by several $1 million. I think it has to do with the old areas, but I don't know why, and I struggle with that.
Go ahead, Yev. And if you can come up here just for sound wise, maybe sit beside Director Cunningham. Thank
I'd like to ask a question. So through the chair, I think the question before Yev could answer that is which number in the financial plan are you referring to? Because the financial statements show the number from the financial plan as a comparative column in the financial plan, like in the financial statement. So it actually says revenue taxation, financial plan number, and then the 2024 dollar amount, and they're off by a rounding amount of about $37. So I'm just wondering which number in the financial plan you're referring to, Director Graham, and then we can maybe tell you what the differences are.
Okay, page 6, we've got taxation net at the very top.
Yep.
Like even in 2023, you've got 40 million and 64,000. It's 40 million 64,924, and the financial plan, as I checked, says 36,000 or 36,680. So it's several, like it's like $3 million difference.
Tierney, sorry, you're right in front of the owl, so
you think compared to the financial plan that's currently posted on it.
That would be page 21 of the financial plan.
I think so. Page 6. This is what's said. And then the financial guidance.
Yeah, so through the chair, that would be parcel taxes are not on page 22 or 21 of the financial plan, and the old areas are not included on that page either. So that would be the difference, is the parcel taxes for water systems, local conservation fund, and one streetlight service, and then the old areas, old E, F, H, I, and J.
Tax old areas and sorry, what was the last one?
conservation fund.
Which is a parcel tax.
Which is, sorry, yeah.
But through the chair, you started including those amounts in 2025, correct?
Yeah, through the chair, so the old areas are now shown at the bottom as an addition. But the parcel taxes, we do not include on that summary page, just the assessment-based requisitions.
Further questions? Good. All right, motion's on the floor. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, yeah. Good to see you. 6.4.4 financial service grants. I assume everybody was able to go through and verify their contribution services. Would someone like to move the motion? Thank you, Hewitt. Seconded Newell. Discussion.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, sorry, I'm on.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. 6.4.5, this is an MOU with Greater Nelson Economic Development. I believe this is a renewal of a longstanding MOU. Newell, go ahead.
I'll move it.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Graham. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, 6.4.6. So with UBC and ministerial meetings, the ones you see listed here are the ones we would be requesting as a board. So that's why they come to you. Individual director requests generally go to staff. And you can just ask for those, and those have already been completed. They would have been submitted early June. So my first question is, does anyone disagree with the ones you see on the list here, the four noted? Paige, go ahead.
Well, my only comment will be on 911 levies.
Yes.
And my only comment is to open up the wording to telecommunications account. So it should be charged on internet, phone, mobile, anything, not just
that, yes.
Yeah.
Good call. VoIP is pretty common now.
Totally.
Yeah, okay, great. Stuart's noting that. Our briefing notes get to be like a paragraph, so just note while we do our best to be as concise and detailed at the same time. And then if we get confirmed for the meetings, that's usually like maybe 2 weeks before the meeting. And it's generally the executive, or if there's an area specific, we would make sure that director's included. Are there meetings not listed the board would like to see? Glad to see, because we did ask those in advance just so we could be prepared. So we don't need a motion for these. This is just clarifying this is what we will request. Do you have any questions? Okay. Good. 6.5.1 discretionary grants. Director Newell, you're going to move that with amendment. Go ahead.
I would like to move the recommendation with an amendment, and it's Area F, Tagum Community Society application, and I would like to reduce the amount, which I believe is $3,625 to $2,200.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, McFadden. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Harry, you in favor of that one, Tom? Thank you, development grant. Yes, Director.
Chair, I don't know if it's an error, but in that same piece of business, Area G, Samuel Valley, is that correct? It being $1.
Oh, that should be 1,000. I assume you're giving them 1,000, not $1, Director Cunningham. Yeah, thank you.
Area G's discretionary grant was just the same 0.
Okay, good eyes. Thank you. Papa, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair, but it's on community development grants.
You're moving it?
No, I noticed some errors in there and I'd like to point them out, but it will involve Director Davidoff when we get to that item.
We are at that item, so please identify what it is you'd like to change.
Okay, what I'm looking at is on a community development grant for Area H, it says $2,000. Actually, it was $5,000. And when I look at Area I...
Hold on 1 second, just 1 second. That is for Mount Sentinel Secondary School you're referencing?
That's correct.
And that's supposed to be 5,000 for Area H?
Yes, and Area I believe, was around $1,500, but I'll let Director Davidoff speak to that.
Director Davidoff, is that correct?
I just am looking at that grant. Okay, I see this is for the Skywalk project. Hang on, I just opened up the Area H. I just need to look at the Area I.
The grant application says 5,000?
I'm just Area I, it's not 5,000. No, that's wrong. Thank you, Director Popov. That amount is incorrect. It was 2,500.
Okay, would you like to move the motion with the change for area H to 5,000 and area I to, did you just say 2,500?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're moving that motion?
Yes.
Thank
I will
you.
second it.
One moment. The application is,
Through the chair, the application,
No, 1,500. Sorry, Chair.
1,500, yeah. Through the chair, Director David Up, it says
Yeah,
1,500.
and F is, and it's actually stated below. Oh, I see what happened here is that they took the 5,000 and they split it up on the bottom, other funding sources. There's another grant that I'm working on with them for 25. It's area I is 1,500, area F was 1,500.
okay, and area H is 5,000.
Now that brings it into question. I think they asked for a total of $5,000, and their area H would have been $3,000.
2,000 for area H. So these are great things to do in advance of a board meeting, but here we are, that's okay. So we've got 1,500 Mount Sentinel School, Secondary School, Legacy Skywalk, area F, 1,500, area H, 2,000, area I, 1,500.
That's it. Total is 5,000. Correct.
Okay, great. So Christine, you got that? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that is tricky when I do it all on one, but good catch. Yes.
Just to note that on the actual application, you can't see.
It's there.
Technical change, maybe.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Generally, they should be separate applications just so we don't do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's been moved and seconded. Christine has it. Further discussion. The
Yes.
rest of the grants are good?
Through the chair, Director Newell, are you okay with the 1,500? Just double checking.
He's nodding yes, he's good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Oh.
All right, 6.5.3, this is a discretionary community development amendment for area J, Director Hanegraaff.
Very
You're gonna drive.
Very dry.
Newell, bus. You're totally fine. It's good. Go ahead. You have.
Yeah, this is, the check was issued to the wrong name. Well, it was the right name on the application, then they changed the name on the bank account. So instead of Canada Jamaica Wing Cup Festival, it's Can Jam Wing Cup Festival. That's the only change. The checks need to be reissued for both areas, I and J.
Okay, can we move that as a block? Yeah, so do you want to move that as a block?
I move it as a block.
Director David, you second that?
I'll second it, yeah.
Great, thank you. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed?
It's a really good event. If anyone wants to go, it's on the 29th. Super fun.
Fabulous.
And it supports KERPA.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good call. Okay.
Fundraiser and jam.
Okay, we are on 6.6, Chair and CAO reports. I have a few things I did do aside from thank you, Vice Chair McLaren Pope, for running our May meeting. Good job. I'm just going to high five you right now. Thank you so much. I was staying tuned for all of that. If I didn't, my email was going to crash. Good work, everybody.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I heard it was super easy. So beyond being away from my mother's estate, thank you for all of your support. There were some other things I did attend. The legislative changes that are being proposed, those would have been circulated to you by email. They are not yet, the province, leave it to the province to share that information. They're just an FYI at this time, an exploration. The conversation was pretty interesting. I'll just say that we continue to be, how do I say this in a nice way, educating the province on what a regional district actually does and doesn't do and what we have to consider. So that was, I believe, the bulk of my input in that meeting. I know there were several other mayors, I believe, who were there and chairs, I don't remember who. There was a technical briefing. I haven't seen the next one. The technical briefings are once we get into emergency season. EMCR starts doing, I think it's bi-weekly technical briefings, giving us like what drought level, what fires are happening, what are the river forecasts, all that kind of stuff. So I did circulate that to you over email, and I believe it's attached in the agenda, mostly because those numbers will change quickly. So I might email them to you so that you don't wait for board agenda to get them should you want them. EMCR, to clarify, you're welcome to share those. They're not private information in any way. Attended the emergency program executive the day before our board week for RAF and joint day last month. And then I did just get a note that the EDMA working group will be doing one more meeting, I believe looking at the actual legislation before it might be proposed. So I saw a doodle poll for that recently. And I think that's what I did as chair in terms of attending meetings. I was requested by EMCR to also attend another meeting regarding emergency support services. I'm looking at Dr. Hewitt because I responded and then never heard back. And I wasn't sure what they said. I requested the meeting, and so I'm not sure where that landed. But if they do get back to me and it's as chair, I will report back to you. Any questions for me? Easy peasy, all right, thank you. Do you want to report on anything at all? Did you do anything else as acting chair?
I think I signed one contract.
Good job.
Yeah, it was hard work.
Did you use an auto pen?
Yeah.
That's confidential here.
Sorry, Chair.
No, that's not. CAO, do you have a report for us?
Through the chair, I just wanted to update the board on EOC preparations. So our EOC staff met with each other for sort of a spring kickoff training session. We've had sort of two, I guess, semi-reportable incidents in the area over the last couple of weeks. One was a fire up the Slocan Valley, right next to the Orange Creek fire from last year. So it kind of ran into a burn area and petered out. So not much of a concern there. The second one was just south of Grey Creek last week. Big shout out to the Ryandell Fire Department who responded out of area to go support that. Due to the ferry situation and the small boat being on, BC Wildfire Dispatch had to go around the pass and then all the way up the lake to get there. So by the time they got there, that could have been well out of hand. It was right on the highway. I've got some pictures of it. It's wild how close it actually was to the highway there. So curious how that one might have started with the lack of dry lightning around the area. I'm sure it had to do with some individuals' bad decision. But those are the two incidents, and we are ready to roll should anything happen in short order.
Questions for Stuart? All right, keep rolling. Rule of Affairs Committee, Director Jackman. Director Hewitt, sorry, did you have a question? No? Okay. Jackman, go ahead.
So, thank you. So, as usual, the Rural Affairs Committee is delegated authority to receive delegations on applications and or land actions that we're taking. From our side, we had 3 delegations. Item 7.2 go in, 7.3 Higginfeld, and 7.7 Houston. 9 recommendations arising. The only commonality I can find is they're all votes. So I could do a block of 9 and all votes, but I think I gotta rattle through them all together. There's no grouping that makes sense out of these 9. So first we'll move, first recommendation, corporate arising that this item 7.1, electoral ID, all vote. Corporate officer of RDCK be directed to file a notice on title, survey authority, property as described.
Director Tierney, do you second that? Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Second one, electoral area K, all vote, as I said, this is development variance permit, go in. Recommend the board approve the issuance of the development variance permit. Robert Gwynn for the property as described.
Director Weatherhead, you want to second that one? Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Third one is electoral area again, non-farm use in the ALR, a grown. I recommend the board support application for the purposes of non-farm use in the ALR proposed by Baron Higginfeld for the property as described.
Thank you, Director Tierney. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Fourth one is Area K, and this is subdivision in ALR, in Instant Holdings Limited. I move that the board not support. the board not support regarding application, not support the application, I guess you should say, or regarding the application. 82502K for the proposed subdivision and DLR proposed by Rob Tupper for the property as described.
Thank you. I saw Director Weatherhead second that. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Fifth one, it involves all electoral areas and in fact involves our municipal neighbors because the water all flows downhill right here in lands. So this is a response to forestry referral from BC Timber Sales. So I moved the board direct staff to respond to BC Timber Sales regarding the draft forest stewardship plan as described there, and further response incorporated comments and recommendations from as provided here.
Do you have a second? Thank you, Director Cunningham. Do you want to speak to, we'll send it to the municipalities for their information?
Yeah, very much so. We did have two municipal reps who were always welcome at our rural affairs committee. And this one again, these are these high-level forest stewardship plans that they kind of disappear into the ether, and people really pay attention when roads and sidewalks are laid out. So I think we had all the comments about that's when it matters. You need to know that. And some of the licensees, larger companies in this region, committed in their forest stewardship plans to come back to community and maybe walk up the hill and look at points of diversion water places. So those are the kind of comments we made. It's nice to have this high-level plan that says they will meet this piece of legislation. They will meet that. It doesn't even give how or what. It just refers to some other document. Mm-hmm. What we wanted to see is we need to know water's protected. We need to know we're not going to be liable for landslides and floods and other hazards because that's not our lane. We can't be watching the whole on side. And the community needs to know that at this point in time, they commit to come back to community every time we put in that law. So the discussion was pretty good, and I appreciated the municipal input we had. That if we have further conversations about this is one where we might go back to this, where we invite all the municipal partners to sort of see what the trend is. I'd love to see whether they respond the way Hanford Lesnikoff said, yeah, we will do that. We'll write that into our SPs. We will come back and talk. Those kind of responses. So it's a bigger conversation for down the road. And even the science things is shifting year by year. And so we're just questioning, are you up to speed on best practices? So anyway, it's a great conversation.
And just note on the sharing with the municipalities, this is a referral that comes to us. So we assume it's going to municipalities, but because we don't know that, and I see Director Hewitt shaking and Director Mead had noted she hadn't seen it, that is why we decided we better share with you what it is we're saying, so that you see that. And it's a bit awkward on our part because you should be receiving them as well. And perhaps that could be, something we indicate is you need to send this to municipalities. So that's why we're going to share our response with the municipalities so you see it.
And timing wise, I think, rest you said was July 2nd or something. No, July 2nd is Mr. The response requirement is like the energy. So there's no time to bounce back and forth. That's the message we need to make to the province.
Thank you. Yeah, and anyone who would like to read the documents, the RAC agenda is always open to you. Director McFadden, go ahead.
Trying to figure out what to say with understanding that it could be done in diligence and read U.S. whole RAC agenda, which I don't normally do because most of it does not apply to myself. I struggle with how to vote on this, knowing my stance is very pro. I believe that our forestry industry understands what they're doing and do not want to put red tape and make it harder for them to do their jobs and keep jobs in our area. So I'm having a hard time knowing how to vote on something that I don't understand what I'm saying yes to, is my only challenge, because again, it does impact all of our businesses in our community. So I just say that to say, flag for executive when it's something that does impact all of us. It puts in an awkward position as a municipality, knowing how to now vote today, because I don't know what the conversation was or what I'm agreeing to saying to put into a letter. Anyways, just throwing that out there that I'm struggling with knowing. I'm almost inclined to vote no because I don't know.
So let's tell you what it says, and just note that we don't know that municipalities didn't get it. It was because we had municipal representation yesterday that they said, no, we've never seen this. And we said, oh, why is this not going to municipality? Which is why we said, let's make sure they see the copy of it. essentially the things we added into the letter. This is FSP. This is values. This is objectives. This is not the structural operating plans, as Director Jackman said. So generally our input has been, the first one was more of a disclaimer, just saying we don't have professionals on staff that would review geotech, things like that. So it's saying we are not responsible for the risk mitigation. We leave that to you. That was the first note. The second note was around watersheds and ensuring that that information is properly shared with the communities. And then the third was, Jackman, remind me, the third was to share it with the municipalities, I believe. I think that was the correct. So,
well, we committed internally, we would share with municipalities. Liability, yes, we're not the experts.
Yes.
Communication at the time when the community was actually interested, not now, because they're not interested yet. And there is some questioning of the evolution of science. Like the old metrics of H60 or H80, those kind of things need to be considered in conjunction with sun exposure, slope angle, that kind of stuff. There's a whole pile of reasons where you may view the on-the-ground practices, and we're not saying we're the experts, a little differently. Instead of saying equivalent, clear-cut.
Jackman, I'm just going to summarize what you're saying. We didn't get into details. That was our point. We said cumulative impacts need to be assessed, and that's your job. Yeah. So we're not opposing anything. We're not asking for more other than share the information with communities and ensure that operational plans go back to those communities, because those are the details they want. So that's the crux of it, Stuart.
Yeah, through the chair, I think where it came from was there was an acknowledgement that our responses through the OCP and zoning documents weren't getting across the concern that the rural directors actually had with these projects. That just spitting out that we have land use regulations here and there, and this is open space, and whatever the terms might be, didn't get the point across that what we're really concerned about is the impact of the road building and other activities on the items that Director Jackman mentioned, whether it's landslides, whether it's debris flows, whether it's water quality, quantity, etc. Yeah.
So supplemental, really quickly, not to belabor it, is this feedback coming from the RDCK as a board, or is this coming from RDCK electoral areas?
This would be the RDCK, like the province would not designate the difference between, the electoral areas are not a distinct authority. We are the board. And all of that information, like anything you approve through RAC, this would be the same thing where our response is as a board. And that's why approved by the board.
I'm just curious as to, last supplemental, why it landed on rural affairs and not the whole board too, and just kind of understanding what the conversation was there.
Our planning procedures and policy states that if a referral impacts 3 or more rural areas, it comes to RAC for discussion.
So not all referrals go to RAC. They sometimes just go to the director or the APHC page, and then
I knew about it. It was very similar to that service, but let's see where this came from.
And friendly reminder, we thought you were getting these. We did not think it would be in addition to, that you would not have received it.
Sorry, through chair, received what? The agendas?
No, that the referrals are going to municipalities as well.
Okay.
That's what we learned yesterday, and that's why we said we'll make sure the municipalities see our response. Yeah. Lockwood, go ahead.
Sorry about that. So I'm on this because I can't actually see the letter, and I'm having a hard time getting into my email to see the RAC agenda to see where it said that. And yes, us as municipalities didn't see that. As a community that highly is affected by forestry, I'm having a hard time really understanding, or not understanding, but being able to vote for this when we haven't seen or heard anything. So I'm wondering if this would be a time to refer this to the next meeting.
So the deadline is June 30th for response. This is a BCTS forestry stewardship plan, which would also be publicly available. It ended up on our RAC agenda because it was more than 3 areas it affected. And so that's the crux of it. We did not oppose anything. We highlighted a disclaimer around liability and making sure communities get community-specific information. Maine. Oh, sorry, Lockwood. I meant to go back to you. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Okay, Maine, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I was at the RAC meeting and I was granted freedom of the floor, so I could comment. And my comment was many of our municipalities will be affected by landslides, creek overruns, fire, debris flows, whatever, because many of us are at the foot of a mountain that may be being logged. And it was just, my intention was simply to get the information to the municipalities that the regional district was commenting on this, and that they recognize that it affects not just the rural areas, but the municipalities as well. We're not saying do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. It's just really is just a heads up. And my area did not receive the referral package.
Hewitt?
Just quickly, I've tried to go on through the link that was provided by Carly, and the event is not found. Then I go to look at the RAC agenda, whether an updated link was sent, but I went to the email and it went
Well, through the website. The website, all of our agendas are on it.
Did the link work?
Well, if you're not a participant in the committee, it may not work for you. So that would be where you always go to the website for our agendas. Well, like for Creston Valley, I had to get access to that. To go through eScribe, it's just who's listed as a participant is who has access through eScribe. So I always go to the board at the website to look at agendas because everyone has access to that. It's the way eScribe is designed.
So that raises the question, why are we getting an email notification with a link useless and without instructions to say you must go to the website to find this information? It clearly has a link in the email to a municipal director saying that it's available.
So we'll take that back to Carly and IT and find out why, but I do know eScribe limits based on the actual participants in the committee.
It's not, just to discuss.
It's fun.
I'm just making sure.
Aiden's flagged it as well.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, if you want to see an agenda for a commissioner, like I couldn't access Nelson and Ian app through eScribe, I can access it through the website. So we'll look at that. I don't know why it went to you, Carly. Don't know, but we'll find out. Yeah. Regardless, this is a referral. Forest stewardship plan. They just let us comment. What they do with it is their call. Generally, those referrals are just going to directors and APHC, so none of us see some of those. But they're always in the newspaper as well. And that's actually how I find them sometimes for my area. So trying to be inclusive by making sure you see that, making sure you know about it. And we did not know until yesterday that they were not referring them to municipalities, which was a flag for us. All those in favor? Opposed? McFadden, thank you. And Hewitt?
And Lockwood.
And Lockwood. Where did we go with that? Thank you. Go ahead.
Good thing that we didn't do 9 as a block. We lost a lot. And some of these, again, they like to look at. 6 item is innovation, science, economic development, Canada referral, and concurrence request through Telsport electoral RDG. Again, these can impact everybody, but referral to the smaller. I move the board direct staff to respond to site path consulting rep for telecommunication regarding the proposed telecommunication installation at RDG as outlined in attachments A, RDCK response letter, which also takes into account comments from the group yesterday.
Thank you, Director Cunningham.
Yes, I'll second that.
Thank you.
Because your first area, Gene, but also, for those who didn't know and were on the municipalities, for years, because of the Shambhala property, I think they've put up a temporary cell site during Shambhala. Well, Telus said, well, listen, we can put a permanent fence near there that will extend the signal along Highway 3, which is something that we've been wanting for years and years, is to extend Telus or cell service right through Highway 3, and as well as making Shambhala happy. So those were I support it.
Thank you. So just in terms of referrals, this is the exact same thing that BCTS that we just did. It's a board response. It's a referral based on their requirements from another order of government. So it's the same process we're doing here. Just so the municipal directors understand what we do at RAC. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next item.
Yeah.
The seven on the list is infrastructure planning grant application for Crestova Irrigation District, electorate H. I move the board direct staff to submit the grant program application on behalf of Crestova Irrigation as described.
Director Popoff, you want to second that?
Yes, Director Popoff will second that.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. 8.2, go ahead.
Sure, this one again, of course, it has overlap with municipalities. We discussed that a little bit, but this is Wildlife Safe DC funding proposal and annual report. It's described as rural RDCK, even though they deliver most of their programs in municipalities and schools. So I move the board approve the RDCK extend into a goods and services agreement with British Columbia Conservation Foundation for their Well Safe program until the period of June 30, 2025, ending December 31st, 2025, and as described in the book.
Do we have a second? Thank you. And this goes through rural environmental services. So just making sure we understand why it's at the rural table. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And one more. I'm going to name Jackman, try to put a recommendation forward to do the OCPs for areas A, B, and C. Move the official community plan updates for areas A, B, and C to be performed concurrently to see efficient use of staff time and more consistent working across these three areas.
Second, Tyranny, thank you. Discussion? Jackman?
Just a tidbit. Our staff keeps asking, is there a better, faster, easier way to do this? And this is one little suggestion, because we almost did it concurrently to the end, and then it split however many years ago, and we'll try again.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, I removed my 8.1. Director Hewitt, I will forward you some correspondence to know what we've determined on the wiki, just as an FYI to you. Oh, Popoff, you have a question? Go ahead.
On the next item.
On 8.2?
Yes. Well, actually, director's motions, I'd like to put a notice of motion.
Can you just put it in the chat and email it to Christine? Or read it out.
Yeah, the notice of motion is to basically draft a bylaw for an advisory committee for Area H South.
That's already on the agenda for July, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming in July.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Director Davidoff, what we're going to do is we're going to take our morning break and then we'll come back to your motion, okay?
Yeah, and while you're on the break, you could read, directors could read what I emailed you on this motion. Thank you.
Yeah, 15.
15?
Like a real break.
You can have a real break. 15 minutes.
Union people here that are.
Hey, I'm retired.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Yes.
I'm going to.
Oh, is this your chip?
Well, I was charging my phone, and it turns out when you charge it, so I was worried it was going to ring, but nobody calls me. So
Yeah, he's prepaid. Actually, it was not an event.
Oh, he was prepaying for an offense in the future?
just be ready. Well, I was chairing, so I can't.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm just gonna check Dr. Davidoff. How's your sound?
It's great, Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Dr. Lockwood, you're good for sound. Okay,
Yes.
Dr. Fike, I see you're unmuted. Are you good?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. And Director Weatherhead, are you back with us? Right on, thumbs up. Okay, we are on items. Flip a page. Holy, good work this morning, folks. 8.2, Director Davidoff, go ahead.
Yes,
You have a point of order?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
So the director has had time to get this onto the agenda, to write the recommendation for all of us, and then during the meeting sends us an email that we're to read
No.
in order to form a decision around this motion. And I think that's unfair to this group and it's inappropriate. If you have time to get it on the agenda, to write the recommendation and all of that, you also have time to get the information into the hands of the people on this board so we can be properly informed.
Generally speaking, any materials attached to an agenda item need to be a part of the agenda that is public information. So with that, I'd say the information submitted during the meeting is not relevant because it's not on the agenda. So that is correct. That being said, the motion is on the agenda, so we will proceed with what's on the agenda.
Okay. I have to say that there seems to be a pattern around this, and if we keep allowing it to continue, it will continue.
Okay. So noted, Director Davidoff, the information you emailed is not a part of this discussion. It was not submitted on time.
And the key thing is that it doesn't have to be. That's fine.
Okay.
It's just sent as a courtesy. That's it. Because it speaks to what I'm going to say. So bottom line is I have a question before I start make the motion, and it's to the CAO.
CAO, he's ready for your question.
Yeah, thank you. So in preparing this motion, I asked the CAO if this was an appropriate motion, and the CEO did some checking, and I just would like the CEO to maybe inform the board as to whether or not this is an appropriate motion.
Through the chair, I didn't discover anything that would tell me that this is out of order, if that's your question.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Okay, so then I'll start. So the motion is, and this is what I'm moving, that the board write a letter to the Ministry of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness and the Ministry of Environment requesting that they enact fossil fuel climate damages and healthcare cost recovery legislation similar to the Tobacco Damages and Healthcare Cost Recovery Act that was passed in 2000, Chapter 30, and that has just provided $3.7 billion for the province as a viable and complementary alternative to a class action lawsuits by local governments to recover damages for local government climate damages caused by the fossil fuel industry. So there's a seconder for that, then I will open.
Is there a seconder?
For discussion.
Thank
it's
you.
On the floor.
So I've emailed you the Tobacco Damages and Healthcare Recovery Act link, so you can look at that yourself. I sent you a link to the settlement news release by the province, or by CBC News, excuse me. And we also have received confirmation that such a lobby effort would assist in getting the BC government to move from passive to active consideration of passing such legislation. Apparently, the provincial government is considering such legislation, but has not yet been heavily lobbied by local governments to proceed with it. So we have an example of the province of British Columbia in 2000 passing legislation like this and just receiving, and the announcement was in March, $3.7 billion through a Canadian settlement, a $37 billion settlement with tobacco companies. So this is not foreign or strange for the provincial governments to do across Canada. And the key thing is this would be similar legislation, and it's just a letter asking them, requesting that they enact such legislation. So I'll stop there, and if anyone has any questions or comments, I will then like to close after that happens.
Thank you. Director Lockwood.
Thank you. And this is maybe some clarification for myself. I have a son that works in the oil field. And so do I have a conflict of interest in this, as a lot of us may have conflicts of interest of having family members working in that? So I just need clarification on that, because if I do, I would like to recuse myself.
Can you describe conflict of interest, please?
Through the chair, only a director could assess a conflict of interest that's outside financial benefit. So essentially, the only assessable conflict of interest is if by passing this motion, it somehow puts a financial benefit directly to you as a director. If that's not the case, then really it's about your self-assessment of whether or not you're in conflict.
Okay.
Supplement. You're good?
No, I will stay then, because I'm not making anything off of this, but it's going to cost me. Thanks.
Thank you. Paige, was that yeah, Paige, please. Jackman, go ahead.
Yeah, the board as a whole, I've just heard two messages in the course of 1 minute that what we were sent doesn't matter because the motion stands on its own. And then after it was seconded, I heard that this is similar to the tobacco legislation, but I don't know if the tobacco legislation lobbying was done by health groups, which is what I think I recall from way back when, that it was really a push from health authority, doctors, medical professionals, those, or was it actually successful or leaning heavily on local government lobbying? So I have no idea. I'm being told it stands on its own, but we need to understand the tobacco one because it's similar legislation. So I think I do need to read what was sent, because it was a few years back and I have a decent memory, but I really don't think it was a local government thing with tobacco. So I think we should refer this, and we will do more reading and understand a little more before we actually step into the pool. I would move referral, second, to July.
Okay, and then that would...
Disrespectful to my colleagues, may want to speak, but I did not read what was sent, period. Agreed.
Thank you. The direction on referral then would be that the information emailed would be included in the agenda. Correct?
Yes, please, send to us formally, everything required, send formally.
So on the proprietary of referral only, not the topic, is there discussion?
In terms of supporting the referral?
Just on referral, so it's just a process comment. Go ahead.
Through the chair, a proprietary referral would refer to when you want this to come back, if it's a concern that month isn't enough, or if there's further information you would like included when it comes back. Really, those are the two items that would be within the scope of conversation now that referral has been moved in second.
Does that answer your question, Vandenberg?
Yes.
Page on referral?
I don't need a date on it as a seconder. I don't want staff to spend time on it. I want the background materials. So I had the exact same thought as it was being discussed. Like, I have not had time to read the background materials. So push it off to a future meeting and we'll consider it in due course.
Thank you. On referral, Cunningham?
Yeah, sure. This key, as part of referral, would it be worthwhile to ask if it was on UPCM or APLC agenda somewhere and listed, because that's the kind of information they need.
Okay, so we'll just ask that that be not through staff, but I see Aiden might have it, Director McLaren Co. Let's not get into the topic, so can you just include if there is something from AKBLG or UBCM in the agenda package for next month? Thank you. All those in favor of referral? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Those opposed to referral? 1. Referral passes. Next month, please submit all your information to Angela for the agenda, and McLaren Co. will follow up if there's UBCM or KBLG reference to this. Thank you very much. Christine, did you get all that? Yeah. Thank you. All right, we're at the consent agenda. Is there anything that needs to be pulled for discussion? You got all your minutes from committees and commissions. For alternate directors, just because our new alternate director for Nelson was asking, in the committees and commissions, these ones are ones that don't have motion, so we just receive them for information.
Okay. Thank you.
And then for communication, our letters we receive from other entities. And then accounts payables just received for information. I'm not seeing any hands up. And then our reports. I did hear we did verbal reports last month. All right. Huh? Okay. So no one's pulling anything. We're good. Oh my goodness, we're early for public time. So who were the ones that did not do a verbal report last month? Do you want to do a verbal report this month? What is happening? Nobody wants to say anything. I'm so thrown off.
Yeah, I know, and it's,
we can't do public time early, can we?
You can.
Okay. Let's do public time now, and if by 11:45 someone else should.
Point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order?
Yeah, I don't think you can change public time, Chair, when you publish when the public time will be. However, procedurally, I have a question to the CAO, if that's okay.
I did not say it was okay. I just wanted to clarify that CAO has already confirmed we can do public time now.
I would challenge that decision because you've published the time for public time, and people may be joining the meeting just for public time. That is possible.
Well, I will watch for that, and that's fine.
Do a camera, come back to
yeah, can we do
that?
Yeah, we can.
That's what I was going to suggest. Do in camera, come back at public time. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Go in camera. So respectfully to our two alternate or other directors from villages and towns and cities and bustling municipalities, thank you very much. You're welcome to go in the other room or come back after lunch. Thank you.
Point of that question, we gave freedom of floor.
Only no, neither, because neither are currently appointed to the board.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Jesse.
Is there another section of the meeting?
Yep, we'll come back after lunch. Oh, no. That's it. Have a good day.
Okay.
See you.
Back at public talk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We should waste this so right public.
Okay, yeah, sorry, to the members of the public online, we're going to go in camera and wait list you, and then we'll come back at 11:45, and if you have questions, then we will entertain them.